Cooper, Mick Jones, O'Grady, Jack Charlton, Bremner.
Oh, beautiful goal! What a superlative goal by Bremner! Oh, what a wonderful goal by Bremner!
Marching on together, we're gonna see you win. We are so proud, we shout it out loud, we love your Leeds. Leeds.
Marching on together, folks. What we've got up here is a picture, a little sketch I've done of Billy Bremner. Now I know this is going to be aimed at just a small minority of people, but hey, this is my channel and this is my idol. Billy Bremner used to play for Leeds United in the 60s and 70s, and he was one of their greatest, little Yorkshire Terriers, really. Even though he was born in Scotland, he was Scottish, but he played for them for such a long time. So there is a big statue outside of the Leeds United ground dedicated to King Billy, and we're going to paint it. It's on a big marble plinth. It's bronze, but he is wearing the traditional white shirt. Now, I'm not wearing any Leeds clothing today because I don't want to get it all painted up. We've got acrylic paints, and we've got no red on there for obvious reasons, but we've got white, which is the Leeds kit. We've got yellow and blue, the other colours of Yorkshire, of the Yorkshire flag. But I've also put a little bit of orange in there because we're not going to use red. And King Billy has a little bit of orange on his head. And for the bronze statue, we're going to use black and brown burnt umber. Okay, we may dive into a few more colours as we go, but definitely no red. So I've just dampened the canvas off, and I'm going to take a little bit of white and blue. That's cobalt blue. Okay, and then maybe just the tiniest touch of this cad orange. Okay, just to purple off the sky a little bit. I'm just going to throw this in. I want it a kind of blurry kind of background, really. I want the focus just to be on King Billy. So we'll just throw some of this in. All right, I know it's not going to be to everyone's taste, but if it gives you a little idea on how to do something, why don't you go ahead and do it? At the end of the painting, I will put a Leeds shirt on. I'm sure I will do. Okay, right. I'm going to fetch you up to the canvas now so we can have a little bit of a look closer at what I'm doing. But before I do, please like the video and subscribe. Remember, marching on together, folks, yeah? Right, what you can see I've done is I've coated, this is the sky in acrylic up there. And we're going to have a little bit of Elland Road behind it, but I want it kind of blurry if it works out. Then I've gone over the whole thing with a thin bluey grey wash anyway, so we can build colour on top of that. Don't worry about any of the pencil marks bleeding into the paint and stuff like that. We can sort all that later. I got a bit carried away with it. You shouldn't really put heavy sketching down with pencil because it can blend out into the paint, but we'll work with that. Right, this is okay. It's touch dry now. So mixed up a little bit of a pale kind of colour there. And I'm just going to put a few indications of the entrance to the stand just here, okay? And it comes around there like so. There is a big badge and stuff on it there, but again, I want it to be very painted and blurry and not really, too much detail. I'll leave a lot to artistic license on this one. So I'm just going to build up this, maybe get a bit more paint mixed on the go. The problem with acrylics is that you can easily run out of paint because it dries so quick. That's a bit more yellow than I wanted, so just put a bit of white in there. Now you can go heavy with the detail, but I don't really want to. I don't want to. I'll take this back, maybe get a bit of a more of a browny colour onto it there. Straighten that off, and it goes under the arm like that. So we've got the front of the stadium, all sort of like the main part in place. It's got Leeds United AFC somewhere there and a crest and and things like that. I think there's some glass windows or a big door or something down here, which we'll put in loosely at some point. It's not quite 100% dry. Remember, acrylics just dry very, very quickly. I'm just going to put some of this off-white colour up there. Okay, remember we painted the sky in first, so that should be pretty dry. This is the top of the stand, and then we'll just fade it off into nothing there, like so. I just love Elland Road. I used to go all the time, not so much now, but I do watch every single Leeds game. And sometimes they do all right, and sometimes they try your patience, but they're still one of the best teams in the land, absolutely. And good luck to them. Right, so we've got that there. We're going to have a little bit of, I think, a shadow colour underneath that. So a bit of blue and a bit of black. And okay, we'll get a bit of Billy Bremner's hair colour in there. Palette's drying out, so dampen it off. And maybe get a lot more white into that because it's not that shadowy. And then we'll go somewhere under there, like so, and just pull that all the way across there, like that. Again, impressionistic sort of thing. I don't want detail. I just want the indication that that's what it is. Okay, and it might just go off into nothing up there, like so. Make it a bit darker, maybe a bit more water, a bit darker, and we'll do another run of that there, like so. If we paint over the sketch, don't worry too much about it. I'm just going to get a bit more purpley colour, so that's the orange for King Billy's hair and this shadow colour on, and I'm just going to take it, let's just make sure it goes in the right direction, really, like so. Bit more there. We'll put some free things down there, like so. Remember, the whole canvas has been covered in the blue apart from the statue itself, so if there is any pinholes, call them pinholes, that you see, it's just that blue colour showing through, and we aren't too fussed about that. There, like so. And remember, it comes down like that to be the front of the stadium. Just a little bit of off-white, and I'm going to get the amount of these wrong, but it doesn't matter, does it? Just a loose background. I'm just going to put in some of the girders and the white steel work that's in this composition, actually in Elland Road, you know, holding Elland Road up. I think this one will come there, get them a bit further as they come away from us, get us a bit further apart, and I think we'll have this one down, and it'll come somewhere down there like that. Okay, we can neaten it up if it doesn't look right. I'm going to make this one a little bit fatter, so instead of using the side of the brush, I'm going to use the face of the brush, or whatever they call it nowadays. I don't know. And if it breaks, you know, if the paint breaks, don't worry about it. And go up and up and up and up, right up into the sky. There, like that. And then we'll add another one. We'll start it off there. It comes down there, like so. A bit more paint. And we'll just keep doing this till they're all got a good. In fact, there's some actually that come out of the front here, so we'll put one of them on. So I'll start it off there, and where we're gonna go with it there, like that. Now again, I'm still working on the background. I've put the crest in there, the badge, and done a lot of work. But again, I just want to keep this nice and loose, and I'm spelling Leeds United. So there's a big, you know, obviously There's some big wording right above. I don't think this is a door. I think it's big glass windows for some kind of, maybe that's where the manager sits or something. I don't know. Never really found out. I have been inside Elland Road many times. There's the S. Now don't worry if you can't see this. I have picked up a little bit of blue and white, but I will come back and put some kind of shadow work on. This is really thinned out paint, again acrylic paint, just using literally a tiny little brush just for this, and we'll just write United across there. AFC, Associated Football Club, I think that's what it stands for, but I'm not too sure. When they first changed it to this badge, I wasn't really too impressed with it, because I'd grown up with the flower, the white rose with a football in the middle, and that was, to me, the best football badge ever. Still love that badge. So United, ED. Just loosely put it, well, as loosely as we can when we're writing text down. Leeds United marching on together. See, I've painted all the background now, Elland Road Stadium, and the entrance there and everything like that. And I give it a bit of a wash over with a very thin, watery white paint, and that'll just like fog the area out. We might hit that more again later, but for now, I just want to work a little bit on the great man's statue. So I've taken a little bit of brown, yellow ochre, and black, and a touch of blue in there, and I just want to get the bronzed parts of the body in. So on this little rounded brush, it is a number 2. It's a Liquitex rounded brush. I'm just going to try and push in some of this bronzy colour. Now I may hit this, put a bit of gold in there or silver acrylic paint just to give it that metallic sheen afterwards. I think that might be a good idea. Right, I've got to keep an eye on my pencil sketch as well, and up on the hand as well. We'll just throw these colours in like this, and make sure that all the little pit holes, I don't know if you can see that, where we've grazed the canvas, are filled in. So it might need a couple of coats, really. We'll just do that. He's got his neck there. Pretty tight neckline, really. Like so. We'll grab a bit more water into that just to thin out the paint a little bit so it flows a little. That's better. Just so it flows a little bit there. Like so. I'm just going to continue on this till we get all the bronzed parts in place. Like that, and then we can work on the shirt and the facial features and some of the other bits. So as I'm waiting for the brown acrylic to dry, I'm just putting a few light blue shadows in. I will hit this with a lot of white for the shirt, but I just want to get a few shadowy colours down underneath King Billy's armpits and around his neckline. I can't remember if it goes there or not, but we'll tease that out later. And just some of these like that. I know it's not a blue shirt that he's wearing a white one, but the reflected light will be some kind of blue, because we've got blue up in the sky, won't it? Stuff like that. But I just want a bit of shadow work down there and around the neckline like that, and there'll be a lot of shadow in there. Grab a bit more paint, just like that. Now you can see I've picked out a few of the highlight colours on the bronze work. but they're by no means no far. I don't know. Have I said that right? I don't know. They're not the final colours or anything like that. Not by a long chalk. So, and again, as you wait for them to dry, it only takes a few minutes to dry. I'm going to concentrate on just putting some off-white. So I'll just put a tiniest dot of yellow ochre into some titanium white, just to put in some of the kit, the mighty white kit. And again, if you cover some of that blue, it will blend. Well, it won't blend because it's dry. The blue's dry, but it will look more organic as a shadow, if that makes sense. You see, let's take this bit there, cover it up. You can even smear it off with your finger, you see. So I'm just going to keep building layers of this stuff up. Drop back between brushes. So I've got the round brush for the bronze work and this little flat brush, this number 2 flat Liquitex synthetic brush. Come on, let's work on some socks there. Like that. It's hard to see if it's a white canvas, white paint, but again, this is not white paint, this is just off-white. Don't use white because we want to go brighter in some points, and we can't highlight it if it's already maxed white. Can't make whites even whiter, can we? That. So I've done a lot of work on Billy Bremner's bronze statue, and I've even put him a little bit of ginger hair on there as well. I'm still with acrylics. I'm going to hit this with a bit of oil soon, but I'm just picking out some highlights in the creases of the mighty white shirt. Fabulous Leeds United shirt. Now this bronze statue, when it first was in situ, and they first put it up, the whole thing was bronzed, and including the shirt. And then at some point, somebody thought it'd be excellent to just paint the mighty Leeds United shirt onto the statue, and I thought that fantastic idea. Side before self, yeah. We could all have a little bit more of that in us, I'm sure. There we go. So there we go. We can see just a little bit of blues and yellows, just as for shadow work. And I've put a little bit of shadow work on the bronze itself, so dark parts where it's going to be dark, and obviously work up different light parts where it's going to be light. Very little paint, and if you get a little bit that's too much, just rub it with your finger, because these are non-toxic, you see. All right, maybe a bit down on where the light's really hitting the leg muscle. The leg that scored some about 110, 120 goals for Leeds. Excellent stuff. Excellent. There. The acrylic's all dry now, and as I was waiting for the acrylic to dry, I went and got my Leeds shirt on off one of them, one of the older ones, which I don't mind getting a bit of paint on. Now I've taken a bit of oil paint, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically put a little bit of titanium white oil paint over the whole thing, apart from the statue itself. What this will do is give a nice misty kind of background to the Elland Road stand, and really make the statue of Billy Bremner pop. Now I'm using a pretty stiff brush, and I'm really tapping in to the paint there. Nice distribution of paint on the brush. Now if you put it on thick, the oil paint that is, if you put the oil paint on thick, you won't be able to see through it. It's very, very opaque. But if you just brush it around and push it about, you will get a nice foggy looking effect to Elland Road, or misted out effect to Elland Road. Okay, so just keep working on this till we get close to almost done. Remember, I want to leave the statue nice, bright and vibrant. There we go. That titanium white painting all over the canvas, but take good care around Billy Bremner's statue, and it really does make the acrylic paint pop out. Yeah, the statue really pop out at you. Okay, fogging off the stadium itself. If you've enjoyed this one, I know it's not my usual wheelhouse, but I really have enjoyed it. The stadium is full of epic people. I love being there. This statue is an amazing statue as well. And if you're a Leeds United supporter, please give me a like on the video. If you've enjoyed this video yourself, please give it a like as well. Subscribe if you've not done so already. Marching on together. Until next time, until next season, take care of yourself. Stay safe. Happy days. I see.